You maybe heard me use the phrase build the business owner to build the business. Maybe you've nodded because you get it, and maybe it's even part of how you think about what you're doing. But here's a question. If someone asked you what that actually means about what you do in practice on a Tuesday morning, for example, when you're second guessing a decision or staring at content that isn't converting, could you answer them? That's what this video is here to do. There are a few patterns that I've experienced myself and seen so consistently in women at this stage of business over the years that I want to talk about, because recognizing if you're here is the beginning of something really important. The first is this: she researches more than she executes, not because she's avoiding work. She isn't. She works hard, but nothing ever feels quite certain enough to fully commit to. So she moves from platform to platform, from strategy to strategy, gathering information without being able to have the peace of mind to go fully all in on any one approach. The second is that she takes action, but then she undoes any chance of it yielding a result because she edits the email one more time and dilutes the message. She adjusts her pricing just in case it's a little too high and puts someone off. Or she pulls a post back before it goes out. From the inside, that feels like being considered and thorough. But if she had the benefit of being outside looking in, it would be clear that it was indecision. And the third is she knows somewhere that another how-to course or coach isn't the answer, but she hasn't yet fully found the language for what the actual work is. None of this is a character flaw or an indication that she's bad at business. It's what happens when someone with real ability doesn't yet have the internal structure that allows ability to lead instead of shrink. Hi, I'm Lyndon. Welcome back to this channel about entrepreneurial leadership, specifically building the woman behind the online business so that the business can grow. I've been in the online business space for 9 years now, and everything that I teach comes from that experience, worked, and especially what didn't, and what I eventually understood was actually happening. So let's get into it. So what does it actually mean to build the business owner? Most business advice works at the surface level. It tells you what to do, where to show up, how to say your message, which platform to prioritize. And while none of that's wrong, it is incomplete because those actions are only as effective as the person carrying them out. And the thesis behind everything I teach is this: the way the business owner operates determines whether effort builds a business or is just work, because those two things are not the same. You can accumulate years of effort, content created, offers launched, strategies tried, without any of it building on itself. That's what accumulation of work looks like. Business building is different. When each action creates a foundation for the next action, when results start to reinforce each other, when the business begins to feel like it has momentum rather than just doing a lot of things, that's progress towards the vision that you have for your business and for your life. And the gap between those two places isn't strategy, it's calibration of thoughts and beliefs and feelings and behaviors of the person taking the strategic action. So what does building the business owner actually develop? Well, there are 4 things that I come back to consistently. The first is decision making, not in the sense of making good choices, but in the sense of being able to choose a direction and hold it without needing external confirmation that it's right. Now that sounds simple, but it isn't. The second is self-trust, the ability to back your own thinking, even when there's no guarantee attached to it. Most of us weren't trained for this. Everything in our professional lives before business rewarded us for following a structure that someone else had created. Self-trust is about building a different muscle entirely. The third is emotional regulation, the ability to keep going steadily and in a genuinely grounded way when results aren't visible yet. That uncomfortable period between action and outcome is where most businesses stall. And it's the bit that I've personally always found the most challenging, not because strategies are hard or wrong, but because it's genuinely hard to stay in discomfort long enough for it to resolve. And the fourth is clarity, knowing what your business actually needs right now rather than grabbing at what the online space says it needs. This one is deceptively difficult when you're inside all the noise. But here's what it costs you when those skills are actively being developed. Every tactic becomes harder than it needs to be. You spend more energy managing your own doubt than taking action. You invest in solutions to the wrong problems. I did this myself for years, pouring time and money into programs and strategies that did have real value, but couldn't help me move forward properly because my foundation underneath it all wasn't stable. The actions were fine. The actions I was taking were fine. I was doing it all. But I, as the person taking the actions, wasn't yet properly equipped to sustain them. That's what I mean when I say the way the business owner operates determines whether effort builds a business or is just work. It's not about capability. You're more than capable. It is about calibration. So, what difference does it really make when you know part of building a business is building the business owner too, and you work in that way? Well, let's talk about what it actually looks like practically and how business feels different when this capacity is built. The woman who has built this capacity makes decisions and stays with them. When she revises her decisions, it's because data from her business told her something, not just because the anxiety of the situation and the waiting got too loud. You can see the difference in how she acts through a launch, a pricing conversation, a slow revenue month. She might feel the discomfort. In fact, she probably does, but she doesn't automatically act on it because she knows that acting from that place creates reaction, not progress. She encounters the noise of the online space, the contradictory advice, the competing strategies, the things that worked for someone else, and she runs it through her own filter rather than just adding it to her to-do list. She knows what her business needs right now, and she trusts that knowing, even when things around her don't provide hard and fast evidence or validation. And she experiences uncertainty without it becoming a crisis or feeling like a crisis or determinant of action. She keeps creating, she keeps showing up, she keeps leading, but she doesn't make her decisions to relieve the discomfort of uncertainty because how she measures progress aren't dependent on a singular result coming in. This is what a calibrated business owner looks like. It's not a personality type, and it's not something that some people can do and some people can't. It's a trained capacity like so many business activities. And that means that you can do it. The key shift that I want to leave you with from this video is building the business owner isn't a separate activity from building the business. It's the prerequisite for business building activities to actually work. So if you want to sit with something this week, here's a question worth journaling on. Think about the last decision you found yourself stalling on. Was it genuinely because of a lack of information, or was it a lack of confidence in your own thinking? Because those need different responses from you. And knowing which one it is fundamental to the way that you move forward. Next week, I'm going to go one layer deeper than this into the specific decision cycle that separates stable businesses from ones stuck in that feast and famine pattern. So if inconsistency is something that you recognize in yourself and your business, that video is worth your time. We're going to get into exactly where the cycle breaks and what it actually costs you when it does. But if you want to begin this work now, Recalibrate Your 30-Day Practice to Confident Decision Making is an audio program that I've created specifically to develop what we've been discussing today, your decision making, your self-trust, and your ability to keep the faith, as I think of it, in the in-between. It's a practical starting point for building the business owner, and the link is in the description below. So if this way of thinking about business is resonating with you, subscribing to this channel means you won't miss what's coming. Every week I talk about business building in a way that goes deeper than strategy, and it's made specifically for women who know what to do in online business and want to really grow with purpose, lead with heart, and stay true to themselves. So I would love to see you again next week. Bye for now.